Welcome, ladies, to the Real Estate InvestHER Show, providing inspiration, strategies, and insight to empower women investors to live balanced and financially free lives. Now, here are your co-hosts, Liz and Andressa.
Welcome back, everyone. This is Liz.
And this is Andressa.
Welcome back to the Real Estate InvestHER Show. We're excited about talking about something that I absolutely love talking about, all the mistakes I made on Andressa when I was scaling, when I was growing. And these are things that I wish someone whispered in my ear. So we're going to be whispering in your ear today for the next 10 minutes, right, Andressa?
You know, it's funny. It's either like a drama or a comedy, right? It goes from drama when you're going through is a freaking drama, right? We hate it. We feel guilty about making those mistakes. But then later on in life, you're either like laughing about it or saying, thank God that happened to me because I wouldn't be where I am right now. So let's look back. Where did you F up, Liz?
Well, you know, I think the biggest thing when you're scaling, and you learn this when you're in large multifamily, is the power of your business plan. And I don't think when we got started with single family homes or even a duplex, anyone even says, hey, have a business plan. And your business plan could be very simple. You know, you want to increase income, you want to reduce expenses, you want to have a grasp on your product, which is your rental units, and you want to have a grasp on your customer. It's pretty simple stuff. I don't even think I had that awareness in terms of, okay, how do we stabilize and maximize this asset? Before we go on to the next one, where this came up for me, Andressa, and I know you were part of this mastermind we were conducting and facilitating, we had someone kind of share what was coming up for them. They had a triplex and they didn't have it fully tenanted. And they were just, all they were excited about was finding the new property, finding the next property, I should say. And that's great, right? Andressa, we want to focus on the next. But the bottom line is if you don't actually manage and maximize and stabilize, really stabilize your current asset, you're doing a disservice to yourself, obviously, to really, one, right, from a financial perspective and from a revenue perspective and from a cash flow perspective. But the other thing you're doing is you're not creating a proof of concept. So from an investing perspective, from a lending perspective, from a partner perspective, you know, people want to partner with others who have bought something, stabilized it, maximized it, made it profitable, and now they're ready for the next. So where have you seen that, Andressa? And why are investors that are scaling so ready just to keep going for the next one versus really managing what they have?
I think that we're in the era where we want quick response, right? And I freaking love ChatGPT because it's about seconds, right? So you feed
I've been replaced by ChatGPT pretty much. I'm not even Andressa's top number one. She has replaced me with AI.
I just love it because it's very quick. But I think that there's a disservice in the society that we are right now, right? When our browser, it's not opening as quick as we want, when our internet on our phones are also like, there's a glitch and we get so upset because it took 2 minutes, 2 extra minutes. And I think that we are transferring that into real estate, right? So this rush of adrenaline when we purchase a property, we wanted that again. And then there's no rush in stabilization, right? And executing a business plan. So I think that the number one thing that having those conversations and self-awareness of it, because when we talked to her, she kind of like, wait a minute, it didn't even cross her mind to look into her current business plan. And it doesn't need to be anything elaborate, right? We can create a one-page business plan, which we'll share with you later on the PDF for it. But the bottom line is that having other people to talk, I believe that's the key, because then we brought to awareness what was happening to her, because many people think that stabilization is about time and it's going to occur by itself. And I disagree with that.
Yeah. And the other part is like the rinsing and repeating. You become successful in this business when you're able to rinse and repeat with less time, with less money, and with more ease. That's what scaling is really all about, right? It's not like, oh, let me create a new thing now, a new product. It's about rinsing and repeating a product that you're comfortable with and that you really have knowledge base and you have an expertise on. Take any great business, they perfected a product and they perfected really getting to know and being obsessed with their customer. And that's really what real estate investing is. And I don't think I thought in that term, Andressa, when we started. I thought about more of just, okay, I'll take anyone as tenants and, and it's just about getting tenants and getting rental income. Like it wasn't more than that. It was very simplistic in that way, where I think so differently now in terms of what's the product that will serve the customer that we're looking to attract. That's a much deeper and actually much more useful conversation to have, right? Higher level conversation.
I think the question is, how can you, again, right, accelerate stabilization? What do I mean by that? You're not going to force it because you can't force it, right? You can create 12 months of recurring income in sticks. That's not what I'm saying. But when you start thinking about it, really like what is the plan for the next 2 to 5 years? This is how stabilization looks like to me in terms of the asset as a whole. When we're talking stabilization, I'm talking about physical assets too, right? Yeah. Are we going to replace all the meters, for example? Is this necessary? Is this now, later, or never category? I think all of those conversations need to happen instead of like, okay, I did my best. Now I'm going to let go of that property as if it was that quote unquote baby that can walk. That baby cannot walk, especially short-term rental and mid-term rental. I think that's crucial to have your eyes on it. If it's your first or second or third. And that's the other point that I want to make very quickly, Liz. The proof of concept that you mentioned. I don't think you can prove a concept with one. I think you need 2 or 3 or 4 to prove the concept. Syndication, full cycle, isn't it? Because I think that people are like, yeah, I bought one and like I'm probably, it worked so well. Yeah. And then they
haven't sold it yet.
Runs across the board. What?
Right. You haven't really maximized the property, nor have you brought it full cycle. So how's it work? You don't really know that actually until then, right?
Exactly.
No, that's a great input. I think for everyone listening, we talk a lot on Jess and I. Everywhere we go is like, having that come to Jesus meeting with yourself. And some people are very good managers. They're good managers of things in their lives. They just like to manage. And there's other people who would much rather go and get a new property because it's new, it's different, it's more. So we have to keep our personalities, our strengths in check, especially in aligning them with this business. Because I have to say, in the 17 years I've been in this business, I think this business is so much more heavier on the management side than the acquisition side, to be honest. So if you're going to master one of those two things, not that you shouldn't be looking for new property, but the management piece is really, I think, where you make or lose. And it's really, people don't talk about that. They talk about the new, the different, let's buying more and more and more. Chad Carson, part of Bigger Pockets, just came out with a small but mighty book. And he's just a great guy. And it really talks about how you can really build a really great portfolio, but a small one, and maximize that small portfolio. It's not about big. But bottom line is look at the assets you have and ask the question, have I maximized this property? Do I have a business plan for this property? Do I know what I want to do in this property for the next, 2, 3, 4, 5 years? Do I have a basic plan? Second question is, am I completely comfortable with the product that I have? Meaning the type of rental units, am I tweaking, like you're saying, on just especially with short-term and mid-term? Am I tweaking? Am I maximizing? Am I clear on how it's working? Is there a way I can shift to do even better? And the third is, do I know my customer? Do I really know them and what they need and want? And how can I build upon that? And how do I stabilize this and maximize as quickly as I can so that I can grow and grow with others? And I think if you do that, you will have a long time in this business, no question. And don't get distracted. I think it's easy to get distracted. So anything else to add as maybe some to-dos or something to think about?
I think it all can become combined in the business plan, right?
Yeah.
And we're going to share with you guys here on the show notes a quick PDF for a one-page business plan. Those are thoughts that you have to really think through. And it can be adjusted, but not having one, you're going with the flow, right? And if you heard me before, only dead fish goes with the flow. And we're not.
It's a great visual I have, like a sad visual that I have in my head right now. Thank you.
So that's what we got today. I hope you have enjoyed this episode. Go to our Facebook community group to get the support that you need. If you have more questions, tag us there and we'll get back to you as soon as possible. Thanks so much. Bye.
you enjoyed this podcast and want to receive updates on our next interviews, go to our website, therealestateinvestor.com. There, you can subscribe to our show, become part of our investor community, and get updates on upcoming episodes.
If you like our show, please share it with other women who would benefit. And don't forget to leave us a rating on iTunes. We'd really appreciate it. And as always, we encourage you to take one action as a result of today's show and put it into motion so you can live both a financially free and balanced life. Thanks for spending time with us.
Ciao.